This morning, S.A. Cosby. He is one of America's hottest writers, spinning tales of rural crime fiction. Cosby's latest is All the Sinners Bleed, which only continues the head of steam he's picked up in recent years, including 2 appearances on former President Obama's summer reading lists. We met Cosby in his hometown, an hour outside Richmond, Virginia, a place with a complicated past that has produced a man redefining its future. A lot of your childhood is in these books.
Yeah. We were poor, but we just were rich in love. I never felt unloved. I never felt unhappy.
Sean Cosby grew up dirt poor, living in a trailer without running water until he was 16. On the other side of this window is the room he and his brother shared, both raised by a single mom, who, despite the family's financial situation, poured everything into her kids.
Strongest person I ever knew. Brilliant lady, really smart. If life had gone differently, she'd be the one y'all be talking to instead of me as a writer.
Cosby was a talkative, rambunctious boy who dreamed up stories from an early age.
Out front, there used to be a bar, and a lot of bar fights and bar scenes in my books were inspired by stuff I saw there. Probably stuff I had no business seeing, but...
He first started writing horror, then turned to crime, prompted by the prospect of earning $50 for a short story.
And I really needed that $50. And because I was like, counting change for gas at the time. And it was the funny thing. It was like, I've been writing for 20 years and very little success. And started writing crime fiction. It seemed like things happened really quick, like really fast.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's funny. I think I was always supposed to be a crime fiction writer. I wasn't in the right, as my mom used to say, I was in the church, but I was in the wrong pew.
Since 2019, Cosby has published 4 books in 5 years. The latest is All the Sinners Bleed, featuring a small-town sheriff investigating a series of horrific crimes, all against the backdrop of what Cosby calls the 4 pillars of Southern fiction: class, religion, sex, and race. In All the Sinners Bleed, black folks and white folks don't get along.
Right.
Is that the case in reality here? Or was this just the book?
Somewhat. I think I, maybe turned it up a little bit for the book. But, my hometown is Matthews County, Virginia, and we still have a Confederate statue up. And we had a referendum a couple years ago about taking the statue down, and it lost by a lot.
This is the statue?
Yeah. And like I said, it's been here my whole life. This building here used to be the courthouse building. That is literally 10 steps from the statue. And for me, I think they were trying to send a really clear message.
Confederate flags still fly here in Matthews, just an hour outside Richmond. It is a place that may still be rife with tension, but also pride for Cosby, no matter what subject he turns to.
Good seeing you again.
Take care.
All right, bro.
Take care, and good luck to you.
All right, thank you. The way my community has embraced me and my books, it's incredible. It feels so surreal, but at the same time, it's so comforting. And so, like, even
You were the Grand Marshal?
Yeah, Grand Marshal of the Christmas Parade. So, like, I like to say, even people that don't like me are happy for me.
You said you can't remember the last time you paid for dessert. Cosby spent much of his early years here at the library. Words were his world. Then and now, he has no compunction about spilling them. On the page, on social media, or during our interview. Can I just say something? Your mind does not stop. It's incredible. I feel like we're on one subject and you could go off on in 12 different ways.
I have a tendency to go on tangents. I wrote a joke the other day on social media. One of my friends was like, "Are you high?" I was like, "No, it's just the way I think." And when I was a kid, it was just uncontrollable. My mom told me I started talking at 2 and never shut up. And so it's just been a thing. And I never thought of it as an ability. I never thought of it as a good thing. I always got in trouble.
I can't remember reading a writer who embraces and energizes the simile like you do.
My editor, we have a deal. I'm limited to 3 similes a page. Because if I don't, I will just take off. I love the sound of similes. I love the sound of metaphors.
Like the freight trains that run through Matthews County, Cosby's books keep coming with no end in sight. And it's hard to see him running out of track anytime soon.
I think the thing that I'm most proud of is that people from all walks of life read my books and like them.
Where do you want this journey to take you?
It's crazy. I wish I could go back in time and tell 12-year-old me, you're not gonna believe the places that words are gonna take you. Your words. You're gonna be in Amsterdam one day. You're gonna be on the New York Times bestseller list. A former president is gonna not only know your name, but like your books. You know, you asked me where the journey I wanna go. I think I've gone there, you know? I think I've gone that place. I just wanna be able to keep writing and keep telling stories.
He was a lot of fun.
Love him.
Right? And he's like, I started talking at 2, and my mom says I never shut up. But he's just great. And the pride that people have for him there is pretty amazing to see.
Well.
And he's just going. I mean, you get the sense with some of these authors and writers, you're spending time with them, and he was a joy to spend time with, but they just want to be in front of the computer, just working. Right?
Well,
and that's him right now.
For someone who gets in a lot of trouble, especially on this show for going on tangents, I love this guy. Yeah. He is such a validator. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you, S.A.
Even just the energy around him, not having read his stuff yet, now I want to read it to see how that energy comes out on the page.
All the Sinners Bleed. Check it out.
I want to read it.
Great stuff.
Absolutely.